talking about roots, talking about where we're from, Lord. Original roots from Jamaica, yeah. Come down in.
Well, hello everybody, and thanks for hanging in there. This is the 8:30 Club, and this is our monthly Poets Theater. The 8:30 Club is a participatory, interactive, live stream, virtual venue. We invite you to participate in it by keeping yourself in a quiet space, but being free to unmute yourself after the speakers and performers and let them know what you think. Show them some love. Let them know what's happening. We're all in this together. And I would invite you also to explore the breakout rooms. We have a couple of very exceptional videos of more music and a tour of downtown Kingston available. You can check that out in the after party after the show. In any event, our ushers, Red and Shannon, I think, are going to be able to assist you if you got navigational questions. And other than that, welcome to Richard Cambridge's Poets Theater at the 8:30 Club. I'm going to give it over to Richard.
Tim, thank you very much. I'm really honored to be sharing Poets Theater with Kingston Creative this evening. It's our first international show. I've been doing this for 25 years in Cambridge at Club Hassim, the legendary Club Hassim, where the likes of Bob Dylan began to play. And it's also near the stadium where Bob Marley gave the Amandala concert of about 100,000 people here fighting apartheid in South Africa. But recently, I've been to Kingston because my partner, Elizabeth Newman, lives in Kingston. So I've been going back and forth. And I've had the pleasure to witness live Kingston Creative reclaiming Old Kingston. And as an artist, as a creative artist, and as Poets Theater, I often have poets, musicians, dance, theater, artwork, sometimes combining them in many ways. What I witnessed in Old Kingston was just really mind-altering to see all of this happening at once over the course of a weekend. And I could only think if we could only share this experience outside of Kingston, it would be a wonderful, wonderful thing for all of us. And so we're doing that. We've been planning this for about a year now, looking up the logistics, and everything's in order. And I would like to welcome you all. You're about to see how a city transforms itself, a city perhaps that was abandoned is now reclaimed. And it's not the politicians or the people with money that do these sorts of reclaimings. It's the artists. It's the artists that make things beautiful. And Old Kingston is flowering in all its glory and its colors and its songs and its drums and its and everything. So I'm just really honored to be part of that. So I'll turn this over to Doris, and we'll take this from here.
So thank you. I'm Doris Gross. I'm one of the directors for Kingston Creative and in charge of leading the creation of an art district. Thank you, Richard and Tim, and thank you to all the listeners and viewers this evening, or later on the channels, because this evening's show will remain there. We like this kind of thing. We like collaborations, partnering, teaming up, people coming together, sharing with each other and getting to know each other. We believe that this is really the way the world should be. And if we all got to know each other a little bit better, there would be understanding and the world would be a different place. So out of this very, high level sort of idea and vision, it's always people that make things work. So thank you most of the viewers from the US to be a part of Kingston this evening. So I'm here to share with you the story of downtown Kingston, a story told a little bit differently this evening. It's told from a certain perspective, from the perspective of the arts, creativity, innovation, music, dance, vibrancy, color, painting, and from the perspective of how to build a creative cultural district from scratch, from the ground, and in our case, literally from the streets up, because that's what we got, and that's what we enjoyed and started with. Can you start the slideshow? Thank you. So the story of downtown Kingston, next. I didn't want to take it for granted that we all know where we are in the world. So we're south of Florida, one of the many beautiful islands of the Caribbean Sea, where after Cuba and Haiti and Dominican Republic, the next biggest, but we're still small. Next. So that island shape of ours is in length about as far as from New York to Philadelphia, and in height and breadth, much less, as you can see. So it's a journey from one end to the other, east to west, of about 6 to 7 hours. What happens in island states is island people are proud people. They usually know each other. They are very patriotic. They're proud and they're familiar with their space, and they're sticking to each other. Jamaica, like in many other developing countries, has this sort of movement of people from the country, rural areas to the city. The almost 3 million people of Jamaica divided into 1.2 million alone, which is almost half in the city of Kingston and its surroundings. Next. So here we are, a sprawling city located along a beautiful natural harbor of ours that we're very proud of. And then it's sprawling and getting larger as people are coming in from the rural areas and needing housing and needing work, sprawling into the mountains. So it's a very mountainous country. And right here in Kingston, that's where the mountains begin. The very center in the red circle says, this is where the city began. This is the old city. This is downtown Kingston. Next. So the old forefathers, or the British in this case, who colonialized Jamaica until independence of 1962, created a grid. They knew at the time what they were doing. There were city planners where they came from, or some version of. And they created a grid that works. And this is the downtown Kingston we still have today. It's a north-south urban layout and east-west. It contains large thoroughfares and narrow lanes that are quiet. Next. So, this is what Kingston looked like before the earthquake of 1907. Next. And then it had to be almost entirely rebuilt because there was a lot of damage. Next. So from the original timber structure that burned up mostly, concrete was the new talk of town, and concrete was a new material by that time invented, and it created the Kingston we sort of have today. So this current downtown Kingston is 100-year plus to 120 years old. Next. So today, 2021, this is what Kingston looks like. It is still very colorful and vibrant. It has its charm, it has its energy, but it looks and feels clearly neglected. Next. And you can just walk through the next slides a little bit, one after the other. So we're just looking and enjoying what downtown Kingston looks like if you were walking along. This is the narrow lanes. Here's a larger road and an abandoned building that is roofless, next to a modern parking garage. The streets are vibrant. People live and work on the streets, selling mostly. Markets take place on the streets and on the sidewalks. It's a very busy, hot, bustling town. Next. But we've also inherited architecture, mainly English colonial style, a lot of brickwork. Next. We've inherited churches. Those are usually the ones in better conditions that carry on for longer. Next. We have inherited residences that need love, as you can see, but are beautiful in its sense. Next. You can continue running through. Oh, okay, part of it is missing. Okay.
Hang on 1 second, Doris.
Sure, no problem. It seems to restart. So we'll next talk about what has become out of this city from its past and where we are today, and how does Kingston Creative come into the mix of downtown Kingston. Kingston Creative the idea started in 2017 and evolved to be on the ground in 2018 by a bunch of people and volunteers who said, we need to start this movement. This is the right time. This is the time for Kingston Creative to re-emerge. It hasn't entirely died. It is still vibrant in certain sections, and the government and the people of Jamaica seem to have been ready to take on the old charming city that it once was. Kingston Creative then started to bring the arts into the streets of downtown, and we literally worked with what we found. We had no stage, we had no theater, we had no developed art centers or galleries, but we used the streets and the old buildings and the walls as galleries, and we used the streets as performing stages.
All right.
Would sharing my screen work or not really? Okay. So you could just run through the next slides of downtown Kingston.
Hang on 1 second. Sorry. I don't know. It's having trouble showing these.
No problem.
Sorry about that.
Right. You can just click through those next slides. As you can see, it's already a colorful, artful place. Next. Mm-hmm. So our vision is, we do believe that Kingston is a creative city. UNESCO declared Kingston the creative city of music in 2015. And of course, everybody knows reggae and Bob Marley, and that's what sets the stage for our music cultural heritage. So this vision of creating a creative city that it actually is says that we really want the creatives to succeed. We want for them to create an economic and social value, so that eventually they have access to global, local, international markets, and most importantly, a positive impact on their local communities and on Jamaica as a whole. Next. So we said we're putting ourselves back on the map. Next. So we literally did that. We created a map of all those spaces, places, and persons that already did creative things in downtown Kingston. And to our surprise, there was a lot before it even developed further. Next. So this was the beginning. Already there, the cultural district was formed. We invited people from all walks of life and interests to come together and share what their concerns were, what their visions were, and what they were willing to get involved in to be a part of this. Next. We not only talked, but we walked the talk and invited communities to be part of art events, art walks, and tours. They came out, they danced, they sang, they drummed, they performed, they read poems, and the excitement grew. Next. We connected people in that way because people came together and walked our communities again in unison. Next. And this movement built stages for the artists. Next. We also explored the old city again from the historic point of view, things we had forgotten, where we're coming from, the good, the bad, the in-between, the things we shouldn't be forgetting, the lessons we shouldn't be forgetting, we're supposed to learn from. Next. We created a hub. We felt there was the need to create a physical space, a safe space that artists, creatives, or related interests can utilize and join in together to work, grow, or train from. Next. That became the hub, the space for training, growth, and education, for knowledge, for business, for technology, all those things that aren't as vibrant and colorful to show in the foreground, but they are most important for the background and development of the arts and the creative industry. Next. A retail space was opened, temporarily closed due to COVID, and due to be open again, where artisans and craft makers could sell their goods. Next. And now we started to look more and more at art spaces at the old derelict buildings of downtown Kingston, as beautiful as this example that you see here, that have been sitting unoccupied, if you believe it or not, for 30, 40, 50, or many more years. And it is due now to find investors, business models, and so forth to take over the spaces in a good, positive, creative, and growing way again. Next. And then we painted the city, literally. Painting murals is an old art form that's been culturally known in Jamaica for many, many years. And especially the inner city communities of the urban environments have always painted on their buildings and walls. And this new generation of artists taking on the mural painting to a totally different level. So we're painting the city. Next. This is how it all began. Lower right-hand corner, Elizabeth and Richard, very important, were part of the first beginning of where on one weekend with 11 artists, they all gave their best to put paint onto forgotten buildings. And we started painting the city right there in November 2018. Next. Paint the city, Water Lane phase 1. This is what it looked like when all the dirty paint cans were cleaned up afterwards. Next. Beautiful artwork, Stanford Watson, Charl Baker, Alfonso Blake. Next. And then we moved from Water Lane into other lanes. As I said before, the lanes are quiet. Some of them by now are pedestrianized by the mayor of Kingston. Next. Okay, next. We painted in inner city communities that have trouble with crime. They need healing. And one of the community members said, we need to heal, we need the arts. And here we're painting. Next. We painted on Rosemary Lane, another inner city community. Next. Our oldest newspaper, The Gleaner, gave permission and sponsorship to create a mural on their modern building in downtown Kingston. Next. Reggae music. This is where it all began on what we lovingly call Beat Street, a street that used to have music studios, vinyl stores, and production spaces from music, ska, mento, rocksteady, turned into reggae right here. Next. Raytown, another old-time Jamaica, downtown Kingston community, used to have oldies street dances right here on that street, crime and gang workings unfortunately stopped that. The Mural project and community artworks and tours brought a different kind of life back into this community. Next. Tivoli Gardens, a proud inner city community with its own problems, came together and painted. Next. Trench Town, the home to Bob Marley and many other reggae icons. Next. On this location that you've seen before on 107 Harbour Street became our art beat. Literally, it became the creative hub for Kingston Creative and an iconic building by now, as this is not just a wall that has a painting on it, but an entire building got engulfed in art. So the entire building is art. Next. Very little known is the Shalom Synagogue in downtown Kingston, the only synagogue with a sand floor in the Western Hemisphere where you actually have to remove your shoes before going in and you walk bare feet on the sand floor. A beautiful space, sponsored a mural. Next. History was needed on this very historic Duke Street, depicted here from left to right, from the earthquake of downtown Kingston on the left to the far right of the modern days. Next. And here's Charl, who we're going to meet soon, who has her eye always on the environment and speaks loudly and clearly about the need for protecting it for a better future for our children. Beautiful mural along a garbage-filled, filthy, dirty gully that she wanted to express the opposites and the need for change in this kind of environmental problem. Next. On the Day for Equality, Simone Green painted a beautiful rainbow color mural right here. Next. And here we are, a good segue over to the next presenter, who is Neil Waithe, originally from Barbados, who filmed for us the production of a 10-mural art project, which became our phase 2 of the Water Lane Mural project, and by now is Jamaica's first pedestrian zone. So I thank you all very much for sitting in with me. This is a project in progress. It has many more years to go. It needs many more persons, like all the wonderful artists who have participated and those who have supported her to make this dream come true. And I think we here right now are all a part of this dream. Thank you very much, and I wish you a wonderful artistic, musical, and creative program this evening.
My name is Dan Thompson, aka Dan Doe, and I'm a visual artist in Kingston, Jamaica. And welcome to the Water Lane Mural project, where Kingston Creative has partnered up with Tourism Enhancement Fund, as well as Sharon Williams and other business entities in downtown and Water Lane, of course, to kind of create a more vibrant part of a neglected city. So the artists who have all come on board to be a part of the whole mural creation have all shared the same ideas and vision of Kingston Creative and the business owners. So this is actually the start of something much bigger. The downtown is constantly evolving and the evolution continues.
We're about to smash. Ubuntu, I am because we are. Do you see yourself in there? So I am you and you are me.
It was a desire to see if I could create a mixed media mural. So I think I accomplished that. So there's many different areas on the mural that have texture and surface. So the map of Africa is plaster. The breadfruit, I use bottle caps as well. In the hibiscus were some bottle caps and tin can bottoms. I've been using Arizona tin cans for a long time. The Arizona iced tea cans, they're always so colorful and beautiful. And I love iced tea, so it's something that I've used for a long time, because one day it just dawned on me how colorful and beautiful they are, and it was just a waste to throw them away. So I thought, how could I recycle them? So that's a common material that I tend to recycle or upcycle or repurpose. We're a small island, but yet we have so much beauty. So I chose to put the Jamaica flag in the butterfly. Our Dr. bird, our hummingbird, our national bird. I used glass and glitter, and just again the magnificence and beauty of that, glass, a reflection of us, something small but yet powerful. The mirror, with a mirror, sometimes you have to stand still to look in the mirror and you get a reflection of who you are. So again, a reminder to look in the mirror and, reflect our greatness. Greatness is our birthright, and anything we put our mind to, we can accomplish, we can achieve.
I want people to see this as a voice in request of protection and maintaining of children's rights and children's well-being. It's almost like a cry for help, which can be seen through the gaze of some of the children, especially the child who is wearing the blue top. I believe the streets and the people downtown, they tell their own stories, both negative and positive. And murals and mural painting has long lived its importance and relevance in depicting and projecting these stories, whether bad or good. My mural depicts children in inner city communities that face challenging circumstances and are at risk of struggling with social issues such as poverty, crime, single parenting, and shrunken ability to make positive choices based on their environment or based on their living condition or their experiences. The zinc fence is used as an iconography to represent the inner city environment. It stemmed from my personal experience as an art educator. Throughout parent-teacher meeting, I also have seen the inability of parents to provide for their child's education. The flowery and lush foreground with the flowers and the grass, it serves almost like a metaphor to represent the blossom and possibilities of growth for the present and the future.
My name is Errol Keane. I'm an illustrator and painter, Jamaican illustrator and painter. The mural itself is titled I Carried This Moment for Years, and it's about sexual coercion and how these incidents that women go through can have long-lasting effects on themselves, on their psyche, and on their future relationships. So it's really about that line that a lot of people tend to cross in relationships, especially when they're young, when they're not exactly too sure about where their boundaries are, or they're not able to express or clearly state that they're not comfortable doing something. I have 4 sisters, and I have a lot of female friends, and I keep realizing a trend in terms of conversations that I have with some women in my life, as in that they all have similar first experiences. So it seems to be like a trend. They're coerced into doing something that they weren't necessarily ready for. Bringing these stories to the forefront, bringing this topic, this theme to the forefront, will allow people to talk out more, and then hopefully prevent women in the future from experiencing what they've experienced.
Richard Nattoo here. So we're downtown at Water Lane behind my mural Ajif 3. So the concept of this mural came about when I went on the site visit, you know. There was immediately this magic, this wonder of what this building was like in the past, you know. I wanted to talk about that, about the architecture back in the day. And also, there's this, I realized that this building has been so close to the ocean, but it has never seen the ocean, you know. And there's this peculiar things about buildings is that they don't have legs. So it's so close to the ocean, but then so far away, it will never see the ocean because it's a building, you know. So what I wanted to do with the mural was to really bring the ocean to the building, you know, and bring the building to the ocean, you know, and to really give it a facelift, you know, with all its vernacular, you know, Georgian glory, you know, and so that was what I did, you know. So you see the ocean is basically right at the edge of the building. There are these stingrays just shooting across, almost like they're going in the alley, you know, they're shooting down the alley, and there is this kind of magic with that, you know, and I think the building really has appreciated something like this being done to it, you know. And an interesting thing is that a few weeks after the completion of the mural, a few weeks after the completion of the mural, they found a manta ray in the Kingston Harbor, you know. So that was interesting. I was like, oh look, he's trying to find his friends. They're right here in the building, but you know, I guess they'll be reunited soon enough. So that's it, and I'm happy.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Levy. I'm hair painting with Kingston Creative on Water Lane. So my piece here was kind of inspired by the times, but I wanted to uplift and, you know, encourage a little bit of mask wearing, but also make it memorable so that when, you know, maybe a year might pass and Corona is gone, but we can still remember we got through this time together. So behind me is an artwork of kind of this human figure wearing a bouquet of flowers. The flowers aren't painted in as yet, but I'm going for a really colorful approach. I'm working with some great people down here, Jason and Harrison helping me out. I always love working with Kingston Creative and the team to uplift Kingston and the communities, so this has been fun. What good is a Jamaican phrase that I have grown up using. My mother used to say it to all my family members when they came in and out of our house. You know, we always had a lot of family together, and even you know, friends and relatives, she would say it, and it's one of those that I think are universal and is a good a good blessing, right? It's over anyone, and this is a walking district, so I think it's really relevant. There were a few buck-ups where we changed a bit, like we're playing with what the text would say, where placement would be, so a last minute decision was to put Water Lane in her necklace, which is a nice detail, a little bit of gold, never hurt nobody. I've been really lucky, I love this wall, I love the team, and it's amazing that it came to life. Like, I have barely digested it, but I took a little walk from behind the building behind me and it pops, and I'm so happy to see it alive.
Amazing. That was beautiful. Thank you guys so much for sharing that. Thank you, Doris. Thank you, Kingston Creative. And thank you all for joining us for Vibrant Jamaica, the story of downtown Kingston. I'm sure you've been seeing a lot of those murals as you have been walking through downtown. And for those joining us internationally, of course, you can enjoy those murals virtually. And we welcome you here in Jamaica when you're able to as well. Thank you for joining us for Vibrant Jamaica. This is a partnership with 830 Club, the Boston Poets Theatre, and Kingston Creative. And tonight we have a beautiful event lined up for you. We have a lot of creatives from Kingston, from Jamaica, and they'll be sharing their different journeys with us. I should say from the Caribbean, because we also have creatives who are not in Jamaica, but they will be sharing their wonderful art with us as well. So thank you for joining us, and please feel free to drop your love. I know some of you are joining us on YouTube. Some of you may be here with us as well in our Zoom. Thank you so much for joining us for such an amazing night. And to kick us off, I'm going to be encouraging you, inviting you to listen to Neil Waithe. I mean, he is a visual and performance artist, but tonight he joins us as a filmmaker. And he will be telling us the story of a filmmaker. He'll tell us a little bit about himself, and then he'll be showing us a beautiful film. So I invite you, please, to enjoy what he has to present.
Hi, good evening. I want to thank the 830 Club. I want to thank Kingston Creative. I want to thank you, Tavia. Always enjoyed being introduced by you. Just for the opportunity to share and speak about the work. I want to speak specifically on a little bit about myself. First of all, I am a visual and performance artist. And what that kind of title allows me to do is just create through any realm, through any medium, through any material. For a long time, I was an actor. I think I passed through being a poet. So this poets club is right up my alley. And poetry was a way to communicate using words in a very palatable form. And that is what film and photography has then become. For those of you who've been to the theater, you could imagine and understand that is for me like a sandcastle, which is built by many, many ants, taking many, many grains of sand over many, many weeks, and connecting with a lighting designer, connecting with a lighting operator, sound designer, costume, wardrobe, makeup, connecting with rehearsals and script and director to just do a show for one night. So after about maybe 6 years of studying hard acting, both film and theater, I started to slip a little deeper into photography and then film as really a kind of means of expression. I call it KFC art. Had this conversation but for 3 hours today with some filmmakers. How essentially we want to figure out how does KFC sell chicken differently? How does Burger King sell beef differently to somebody else? And you can package it and send it out. And that's what film has been for me. In this process, this was probably like a 3-month process of filming. This was by far the heaviest film process I've done, much like theater, because it's documenting 10 artists doing work outside in rainy season at different rates. So for me, it's very important for artists to have their expression captured. So it means a lot for me. Artists are people who are near and dear to me, and it was nice to spend time with Charl. Charl is always lovely. It's nice to have met Richard Nattoo and hear him talk about this building that don't walk away, and just all the different artists and their personalities, and just to be a part of the Kingston Creative movement. Again, this today had like a 2-hour conversation about the importance of space and how, for me, that's really the heartbeat of anything. All performance artists, all visual artists, if you give them a 20-foot high ceiling and just a regular box space, think of any bedroom, and you take all furniture and all objects that are not necessary out of it, you got a blank canvas, and then you can do anything. You can create anything, but you need space that's safe, a space that's clean, a space that's comfortable, and a space that's motivating. And I think Kingston Creative has been a catalyst for that. Just to have an organization really just giving opportunities. I was blessed to have been afforded this opportunity. I'm new to filmmaking, but I love artists and I love art. So for me, it was a blessing and an honor. I look forward to hearing more about the 830 Club, and I look forward to hearing big up Kenardo. He's going to perform amazing brethren, go way back. So everybody in this room, a lot of people in this room I've collaborated with or worked with in some level. Big up Catherine every time. So it's just a blessing to be here. Thank you so much.
Hey, look, I pray you catch a wave that doesn't subside. This for the nappy heads in heaven, with a nappy head Christ by their side. I pray you catch a wave that doesn't subside. This for the nappy heads in heaven, with a nappy head Christ by their side. Yeah. May your streets be paved with gold. Yeah. Hope my whole hood make it home. Yeah. May your your streets be paved with gold. Yeah. Hope my whole hood make it home. Yeah. Cause the world can be toxic, especially when your skin look like chocolate. At one point they sold us for profit, but we made it out of the gauntlet we chosen. Yeah. Oh my mama, the south side still holding. Yeah. Go for broke for the ones that are broken. Yeah. Please don't make me no hashtag or slogan. My whole hood is golden. That's why I pray you catch a wave that doesn't subside. This for the nappy heads in heaven, with a nappy head Christ by their side. I pray you catch a wave that doesn't subside. This for the nappy heads in heaven, with a nappy head Christ by their side. Yeah. May your streets be paved with gold. Yeah. Hope my whole hood make it home. Yeah. May your streets be paved with gold. Yeah. Hope my whole hood make it home. Yeah. Cause they riding with choppers. It might turn your taper to pasta. Don't hardly see daughters at altars. Probably cause there ain't no more fathers, they stole them. Yeah. Put in cages by racists patrolling. Yeah. The hood is a lane to the pins like we bowling. Yeah. Please don't make us no hashtags or slogans. Yeah. Black people are golden. That's why I pray you catch a wave that doesn't subside. This for the nappy heads in heaven, with a nappy head Christ by their side. I pray you catch a wave that doesn't subside. This for the nappy heads in heaven, with a nappy head Christ by their side. Yeah. May your streets be paved with gold. Yeah. Hope my whole hood make it home. Yeah. May your streets be paved with gold. Yeah. Hope my whole hood make it home.
I hope you make it home. I hope you make it home. I hope you make it home. Oh, I hope you make it home. I hope you make it home. I hope you make it home. Yeah.
I hope you make it home.
I hope you make it home. I hope you make it home. I hope you make it home.
I hope you make it home.
Amazing, amazing. Neil, I know I speak for everyone when I say this film felt like home. So thank you very much for sharing this with us.
Thank you.
It's a message to all creatives. I hope you catch a wave that doesn't subside. May your streets be paved with gold.
Gold. Oh.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please tell us where we can find that film because we'd like to watch it again.
Where's that? That's the easiest place to find that and most efficient might be my Instagram.
Okay, please drop the info with all that film again. Thank you so much. That was phenomenal.
Yes,
thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we will keep the night running. We will be listening to or talking to Richard Nattoo. Now, Richard, I hope you forgive me because reading your bio, I learned that you used to do murals on buses. So am I allowed to say from bus to buildings?
Yeah.
That is exactly what we're seeing, from the buses to the buildings. We saw you highlight your work earlier and we loved it. And we are looking forward to seeing what you have to present to us tonight. It is amazing. So guys, please enjoy what he has to present.
Yay. Okay, perfect. Okay, so hey, I'm Richard Nattoo. I think there's supposed to be a slideshow there. So I'm an artist. Yay, that's it. Okay. Yay! All right, perfect. Okay. Oh, and I'm in the same shirt. Wow. So I've been painting all my life basically. I started drawing when I was like 4, and when I was in like grade, I was always a kid in class who everybody would ask to. You can skip this. It's like you can just keep the images running in the background while I start. So I was always a kid in class that everybody would ask me to, help them with their artwork and stuff. And I remember in high school, when I was in grade 9, I started working at this tin shop where they had a lot of buses there, and there were a lot of graphics on the buses, and I would create a lot of these graphics for these buses, and it was just the coolest thing. Buses like Metro and Bashment Granny and all those buses, hype buses are what we used to call them. So I've just always been been creating. This is a shot from an exhibition that I did in 2019 called Fragility. I think I did around 3 or 4 shows that year. Me and my friend Michael Talbot, we decided that, hey, we wanted to make the most of this year. And so we decided that, hey, we're going to do some art shows, and Fragility, this was one of them that came out of it. I remember when I was planning the shows, I was saying like, hey, I want to do I want 100 pieces in the show. And then it came down to crunch time, and it was up until the night of the show. I was working on pieces, finishing up some small pieces, and I eventually got to the 100 pieces. So I was pretty happy about that. So yes, I've just always been working, and I've been doing. I do. So I'm formally trained in architecture, but I recently resigned from a job to pursue art full time, and so now I do photography also, and murals. This was a mural I did in Waithe, and that's me and Kamal. Kamal helped me with that mural, and I also do music, and so. The first thing I'm going to present to you guys is a piece of music that I did. I go by the stage name Mr. Nattoo, and I guess you can show some of the musician photos in a bit after this. So yeah, so that's gonna be the first thing I present to you guys. Yeah, Mr. Nattoo, electronic music guy. So the music that I'm presenting is a piece that I did in 2020. I was going through like a really tough time personally, and this music was just how I kind of decided to move forward and get through the slump that I was in. So yeah, please enjoy. Yay. So you can play the music now.
I was wrapped up. I hope you know I was wrapped up. I hope you know I need to be vulnerable, experience insufferable, empathy non-refundable. Ask myself, am I comfortable with you? And I need closure. Just a friend, that's what those were. 2 weeks I've been sober. I had a feeling it was over. Was it those girls? So welcome to this magic world. I lost a part of me, got wrapped up with this magic girl. I hope my heart can heal. Welcome to this magic world. I lost a part of me, got wrapped up with this magic girl. I hope my heart can heal. Just a little too much for you. And I'm thinking about us a little too much for you. And I'm thinking it won't work a little too much for you. And I'm thinking about us a little too much for you. And I'm thinking it won't work. Have you arrived to yourself? Now who am I? I took my heart like a Guggen out. I wish you listened, but you scrutinized rules that you define, a parallel to your stupid lies, and all these feelings that you denied came crashing down when you decided. So welcome to this magic world. I lost a part of me, got wrapped up with this magic girl. I hope my heart can heal. Welcome to this magic world. I lost a part of me, got wrapped up with this magic girl. I hope my heart can heal. Just a little too much for you. And I'm thinking about us a little too much for you. And I'm thinking this won't work a little too much for you. And I'm thinking about us a little too much for you. And I'm thinking it won't work. I was wrapped up. I hope you know I was wrapped up. I hope you know I was wrapped up. I hope you know that I lost a part of me. I hope you know I was wrapped up. I hope you know I was wrapped up. I hope you know I was wrapped up. I hope you know that I lost a part of me.
Hey.
Whoa!
Thank you.
Richard has so many sides. He forgot to tell us about his writer's side. He's just published his first book. Just saying.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, yeah. I always forget that part. Yeah. I did a children's book. I'm also a published author. The book is called Ian Takes Flight. So you guys can check that out too. Yay! So okay. So the next piece to be presented is a piece about a mural that I did at the International Seabed Authority. That's in Jamaica, and yeah, I just wanted to share that video with you and that process. It was a pretty interesting process from getting the idea to doing the mural. So let's see it. Yay, okay.
Well, here at ISA, we are located on the waterfront in downtown Kingston. So we were really delighted to be able to collaborate with Kingston Creative, who have been doing such great work around the downtown area, sponsoring and promoting creativity and artwork. And I'm really delighted at this inspirational piece of art that Richard Nattoo has put together. And I really hope that this artwork will become a feature in the creative life of downtown Kingston, to be enjoyed not only by the hundreds of international delegates that come every year to the International Seabed Authority, but also in the future by people from Kingston as well, who we'd love to come and visit our offices, see this incredible piece of artwork, as well as understand some of the inspiration behind it.
Hey, so I'm Richard Nattoo. So the ISA wanted a mural done, and Andrea Chung from Kingston Creative actually reached out to me and she said that, hey, the ISA needs a mural done, and could you put in a proposal? And I was like, all right, that's interesting. So I thought of the proposal and what do I propose, So what's interesting is that my work is I include a lot of sea life within my work, because the ocean excites me, because the ocean is like the human mind. So it has so many depths to it and so many levels, So then putting together the proposal, I said, I wanted it to be an immersive experience, I wanted people to enter the space and to feel the ISA, feel what they're talking about and feel their values. And then I said, okay, let me put together a story, a narrative that kind of works with this. So on the side visit, I went to the museum because they have a museum here, and I saw a lot of the equipment that they use, and I saw some of the rocks that they mined, these cobalt crusts that have so much so dynamic, they mine precious metals from them and stuff like that. So I came up with a narrative, and I want to include something about Jamaica in it. So a story about Bob. So what happens is that Bob, he's on top of this ROV, which is a exploration device that the ISA used to explore the seabed. And then, so he arrives, and there's this bridge, and he's excited by just this possibility of the ocean, and what's down there is like, they wouldn't known all this magic could be here. So then Bob is met by the magical Ventrim, is like, and she's like the Ventrim of all Ventrim, huge, So the Ventrim, is introducing Bob to her world basically, and this kind of speaks about, the kind of symbiotic notion, kind of idea that we as human beings, want to have with the ocean, you take care of the ocean takes care of you in a sense, So the Ventrim takes Bob to show him her world basically, and this world is beside one of these black smoke vents, and it's millions of all this is the Ventrim swimming around, and Bob is like, wow, this is happening here. So what happens next is that the Ventrim, gives Bob a piece of cobalt crust, and she introduces him deeper into the abyss, and then what happens after in the mural is that there's like all these constellations, and these constellations have images of things that these cobalt crusts help to make in our world basically, and some of the things within the constellations are wind turbines, photovoltaic panels, and even things like magnets. There's a lot of things that the ocean that provides the raw material for that we wouldn't even know. So and then why did I use constellations? Because there was this peculiar thing that Christine from the ISA said to me when she was just giving me a brief idea for the ISA. She said that yeah, we're like the NASA of the ocean. I was like, NASA of the ocean, that's so interesting. You know, so it's almost like I kind of take the idea of the mystery of outer space, you know, with stars and kind of bring that back under the ocean to explain what is above. So it's almost like this twisted way of going way up above and then to go back under to show what's in the middle, you know. You know, so that was basically the proposal, and it's executed, you know, really, really well. Kamal Manuel helped me. You know, he's really good at what he does, you know, Indian guy, you know. There, I want to speak about peculiar technique that we use to get the gradients, and it's we basically mix the paint as a kind of thinner solution, and then we spray it on the wall. And what this does, it creates a kind of subtle kind of language. You know, it feels like soft film grain, and it feels like pointillism at the same time. And it has this kind of full body experience, looking at these huge gradients, you know, and life size. You know, it's like and when I look at like the ridge from the first panel, and it's something that I've you know, I've done in my own artwork over the years. I was really happy to be able to kind of, you know, bring forward what I've learned within my fine art to bring it at a more larger life scale, to create an experience that isn't imposing, you know. It's not just heavy on just being visual and like, you know, sometimes you go in some spaces and if a visual might be busy, it doesn't really work with spaces. The visual is trying to kind of steal your eyes away, and it doesn't want you to have your own eyes. So I'm just happy with that with this. It was a middle ground, you know, a solid narrative, you know, just subtle compositions, you know, well planned compositions and ideas that flow within each other. I'm really happy with how that's turned out, and it's been good, you know. So that is all I have to say. Thank you.
Just wow.
Thank you.
That was amazing. Woo.
Wow.
That was
Now I have more to say, Richard. So I will now say from buses to buildings to beats to books.
Yeah, that works. I like that. I love that.
Lovely.
Actually.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. So thank you so much. That was Richard and Nattoo. And feel free to let us know where we can find a lot more of your work, because that was amazing and we'd want to, you know, experience a lot more of it. So feel free to tell us where we can find it so that we can all go and rewatch a lot of those, get those books that you have out, and just enjoy your work.
I have a lot of my work on Instagram. My Instagram is at DJ Sinista1, DJ SINISTA1. And you can go on my website, richardnattoo.com, RICHARDNATTOO.com. And I also have a website untitled by Nattoo.com. I sell smaller paintings there, untitled by NATTOO.com. And my YouTube channel, I have a YouTube channel where I talk about stuff too. That's Richard Nattoo, RICHARDNATTOO. Yeah, 2 T's, 2 O's. Sometimes people spell it weird. So that's why that's what that emphasis is all about. So yeah, and you can go on Bookman Express, so that pub, and you can find my book there too. And it's on Amazon too. And yeah, I hope I'm not missing anything. You can go on Mr. Nattoo to find some of my music. I need to have like a list to keep up. I always forget something. But I think that's it. So yay. So thank you.
So much. Thank you so much, Richard. And thank you guys for joining us. If you're just joining us, this is Vibrant Jamaica. This is in connection with 830 Club, the Boston Poets Theatre, and Kingston Creative. We are telling the story of downtown Kingston, and you just watched Richard Nattoo. That was amazing. So thank you so much. Right up, we're going to be enjoying the wonderful Charl Baker. I don't think I can actually in one evening introduce Charl, because Charl goes from muralist to film to music videos to commercials. Like, Charl's CV is longer than the road that's outside. So I will allow Charl to introduce herself to us and share her wonderful work with us tonight. Charl, over to you.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. First of all, I'm like, what hard acts to follow? Neil, your film, I was in tears, just in tears. And Richard, I mean, I know you're talented, my brother, but my goodness, man, bus, books, beats, I mean, give us a break, yeah? So the brilliance is just awesome. But I am Charl Baker. Tavia, thank you so much for that. Yes, I actually have a nickname, Slash, because I do wear many hats, and I even make some hats sometimes. I'm an artist, a stylist. I work in production, film, video, commercials. I paint, I make jewelry. I do murals. I'm a new mom. New mom is in 2.5 years, but I got my son fully loaded. So motherhood is a whole new adventure. So many, many roles, many, many hats. I like to say that I'm a tree with many branches. I mean, as Doris had said earlier, maybe you heard on one of the things, I'm always very concerned about the environment, about nature. And my thing is trees. It's just been a big motivation and inspiration for me. In terms of art, it's just something that I've been doing, I think, my whole life. I say that, I was created to create, and I think art chose me. Jamaica, the Caribbean, our parents, our culture is that, you have to be doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, because, the art thing doesn't work for Caribbean parents. They want their children to be doctors, lawyers. You have to have some profession that is worthy and worthwhile. But I really believe that art is the healing of the nation. And I mean, as you've seen so far tonight, I mean, art encompasses so much stuff. And, I'm grateful to be a part of the movement of the rebirth, and the rebranding of downtown Kingston. As you can see in the back there, that's the mural that I did, Ubuntu for Kingston Creative. I would like to say that I've been with them from the very start, from the foundation coming up. So I was there for phase 1 in the beginning, the meet and greet, and just the whole brainstorming and groups. And it's really been an honor and a privilege and an utter blessing. I used to be in those streets as a child, going to church with my grandmother, like, East Queen Street Baptist Church. And, back then the buildings were a little bit nicer, even though they were still a bit neglected. But over the years, as you can imagine, it's just, it just went to waste. And, when the whole thing came up with Kingston Creative about this rebirth of Kingston and what we wanted to see, I was just very excited. I was very passionate. I just knew it's something that I had to be involved in. If I was even going to carry, water to somebody, I just knew that I had to be involved. So the mural you see in the back there, that's called Ubuntu. And Neil showed a bit of it in his film. And to me, that was just showing the integration of, Jamaica, our Jamaican heritage and our culture integrated with our African retention, just the history where it comes from. So the word itself, Ubuntu, is, a Zulu word. Thank you, Redza. A Zulu word meaning that I am, because we are. And I cannot be who I am without everybody else. And I think COVID has really shown us that we really need each other to survive. We need the environment. a lot of the times we take it for granted, but the way we treat Mother Nature and in turn is how it treats us. If you have a tree in your backyard, a fruit tree, and you don't take care of it, you neglect it, you don't water it, you don't give it good soil, chances are you're not going to get any good fruit, So we are responsible for the environment. I'm Canadian born, but I grew up in Jamaica. I came here as a small child, and I spent half of my childhood in trees. I was more interested in eating what's in the trees than what was in the house. So this mural to me was just an expression, a give back of my love for the country, that I have adopted as my own. I call myself a Jafaican, so a Jamaican from Canada. And, some of it was, the symbolism. So the doctor bird, it's a very small bird, as you know. Like Jamaica is a very small island, a little speck on the map, and yet powerful. It's one of the fastest birds. The wings go backwards. Everything about it is very different and very unique, much to how I see Jamaica. I also work a lot with mixed media. Like that's just my passion. That's my forte. A lot of my small pieces of work, I do always, incorporate mixed media. And I thought, can I do a mixed media mural? So that's something I tried to do in this mural. And I think it was effective, but it was beating. I have a love for Africa, the Maasai tribe. I love the giraffe. That's my spirit animal. I mean, that image is in a lot of my work. Somewhere you'll find it. The circles of color as well, represent so much for me. And it's funny because I've just come back from Toronto from packing up my mom, and she has a pin. And I didn't even realize it, but it's an image that I've seen all my life. So it was something that was just very powerful. And in packing her up, I came across the pin and I was just in pieces, but it was just confirmation that it's almost like it's been a guiding light, like a source of energy, a sun, a power, a source of power for me. So it was just a full circle moment for me. And that image is a full circle feeling and emotion that I like to put in all of my work. I really applaud Kingston Creative being a part of it for what they're doing. I mean, for years, people spoke about stuff for downtown, and it took this entity, this group, to let it happen. I mean, there's so many people on here tonight that I've worked with in different ways. I mean, Neil, for one, I first met Neil acting because I'm also a wardrobe stylist. So I was, dressing him. Richard Nattoo, I actually met him. Richard was helping as well with another festival we're a part of called Kingston on the Edge. He was an artist. Catherine, who's here, I met Catherine in production as well as a makeup artist, and she was doing my makeup. Ironically, a film that I worked on, The Untold Story of Marcus Garvey, that's just showing right now in TIFF or in Trinidad and Tobago. She was my makeup artist for that particular film, so I did styling for it and a little bit of acting. So it's just everything. I mean, so many people that are creative, I think we all wear many hats, and it's a blessing. I don't know anything else. Art, I just live, sleep, breathe, eat art in every way, shape, and form. As you can see in the background, actually, that was the gully that I did the South Camp Road project. And that took intestinal fortitude just because the gully, the space itself was so just vile, dirty. We know that our Kingston Harbor is polluted, but when you saw the actual waste going down the gully every day and the things people throw away, it just breaks my heart because I'm we really are killing the environment. So when the call went out for this mural, I submitted something. And I mean, most people, if you know me, my submissions for murals, my ideas, there's so much in my head and I like to work with the space. I knew what I wanted. And sometimes my sketches, I don't do nice fancy sketches with grids and all mapped out. I like to work with the space. I work in a very organic way. I know what I want. And when I see the space tells me where to put things and how it goes. And if I have to redraw or reshift, that's fine. I remember Doris even saying to me, she goes, how are you going to do that? You can't, you're down in the gully. You won't be able to see it. If you go across the road, how are you going to map it out? How are you going to sketch it out? And I said, don't worry about it. I'll do it. But this project really, it was amazing. Just, the amount of love and support from the community while I was working. And to me, it was just very important to portray a beautiful future, a brighter future for Jamaican children. Loosely, when you see the bigger picture, it's a map, the outline of Jamaica. And it's just showing, the breakaway, the wall, the decay of society, the way that, we mistreat, the environment, the way we take so many things for granted. And the breakaway in the map of Jamaica goes through to quote unquote utopia. And of course, Mother Nature, Mother Earth, she's an image that's very critical to me because Mother Nature, what would we do without it? Right now with COVID, the air we breathe, the sunshine, fresh air, God's green earth, we would not survive without these elements. And a lot of the times we do take it for granted. And if we don't, if we're not conscious of how we're living now, what's going to happen to our children? And it really impacted me because, as I said, I'm new to motherhood now because I'm just in the process of adopting a little boy. And it really surprised me that Jamaica, that's a Caribbean country, we hardly have any common green spaces for them to go and play, to dream, to dance, to create. And as a creative individual, I know you need this space, this harmony to be at peace. Sometimes we work out of extremes, whether you're happy, sad, depressed, mad. Even Nattoo's song, he said, he went through stuff and then through that stuff came the song. So, we do need that great environment to produce. In the background is Fabian and his twins. It was funny, he brought them the very first day, like in the last day of the mural rather, and it was their birthdays. And I thought, my God, you're wicked. Why would you bring them here on their birthday? Because the gully was dirty, but they brought such strength and energy to the project. I tend to work alone and, I know it's important to involve the community and it really was a blessing. Fabian is a really nice guy, he's in the community and they were really just helpful, but just the camaraderie with, community members, it's really, to me, half of the joy of doing these murals and these projects is taking a space that was, neglected or abandoned or rejected and having it transform, just as much as I see that happening now with downtown Kingston and this whole Kingston creative movement. It's really a phoenix, a rebirth rising out of the ashes. I mean, long ago, Jamaica was like the jewel in the Caribbean. And, over time, it's been neglected. And it's like if you find an old piece of jewelry and, you rub it off because you're not even sure if it's silver, but you rub it up with cloth and then it's just shiny and pretty. And you're like, wow, there's just so much beauty. So I just think it's a responsibility for each and every person to do our part to take care of what we've been given, to be a good steward of what we've been given. And for me to create beauty in an already beautiful space to enhance it, to me, that's just a blessing. And to me, the joy I take away from it is the interaction with the community members. People would pass by, honk their horns, you know what I mean? So those are the things that I take away. It gives me joy. And, people would say, oh, you're doing a great job. I remember even because I've done the mural as well outside of the Bob Marley Museum. And that was actually very funny because, it's still a man's world. And, I remember one particular night I was working with two other girls and a guy walks by and his comment was like, oh, I never know, say a woman a paint. He said, woman can paint. I'm like, yes, women can paint. So, it was quite funny. And he was in such disbelief and awe that he actually had told a friend. And 2 nights later, he came back with his friend and, there was a big debate. He says, see, I told you it's women that are doing it. It's girls doing it. So I found that very funny. So I'm an advocate too for girl power. Girls rock. We can do anything we want to do as long as we set our mind to it. But it's just been a blessing to be a painter. As I said, I work in production as well. I'm a stylist. I'm an artist. I work on film. I make jewelry. All kinds of things. So it's just a blessing to be able to create. I think I've been creating my whole life, initially I was on the path to be a pediatrician. So children and art has always been a constant in my life. And I found a way to combine the two. Richard said about his book, actually, I would like to do a kid's book. So there is one in the works. So stay tuned. Richard, I'm going to come ask you for some tips on that. But, there's just more to come. I think there's so many of us on here that are artists. And I think once you're creative, it comes out in so many different ways. I mean, Tavia to me has become, hostess with the mostest. I think she's such a great, facilitator, but she's also a great poet. She's very articulate and she's very creative in her own right. Doris has been a champion. Like there's so many people that are part of the process. And, you just realize even too, from a biblical standpoint, when it says, one body, many parts. And I just see Jamaica as this one body, it's tiny, but within that one body, there's so many parts that bring together everything. And it's just a blessing to be a part of this movement and to make history in some way, shape or form. So I'm just blessed to be an artist. I'm just grateful for that. I'm actually currently working on a new mural now. There's going to be a new space coming up called The Lot.
with Craig Fang Sang. And I know Craig Fang Sang from production. He's a photographer. He works in production as well. He's also a photographer, a painter, and he's doing another space. So I'm doing new murals there, but I've done quite a few murals around town. I also do my own private work, for either craft fairs, vending, or commissions for people. So as I said, I was just created to create, But yeah, this one's Ubuntu again. It's all the different symbolisms, the flora, the fauna of Jamaica, breadfruit, ackee, our national fruit. And of course, Neil had highlighted the quote from Marcus Garvey, we are kings and queens, greatness is our birthright. It also tapped into the whole Black Lives Matter that's happening. I mean, all lives matter, but the whole race relation, it gets tiring, but I don't even think about it anymore because I just know I was destined for greatness. I'm a queen, I can do no less, you know what I mean? And the more I dig into what has been deposited in me, the more comes out. So the more opportunities I get to create, it just keeps getting more and more, Yes. And I'm melting here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charl.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to be moving into Tavia Benjamin, a Jamaican writer who believes in sharing her raw feelings. Her experiences, spiritual, romantic, platonic, have inspired her to be the woman she is today. Her first anthology, Words Beyond the Page, and I really want to ask you about that, Tavia, how you make that happen physically beyond the page. Is a vulnerable collection of how she's felt through different phases of her life, and as a whole expresses an appreciation and love for who she is. Tavia, please welcome everyone. Tavia, who's going to be sharing from her book.
Thank you so much. Guys, tonight I'll be reading from my book, Words Beyond the Page, and I'll just briefly share with you how I even came up, what this actually means. For me, this collection is about, as it says, sharing my own raw feelings and experiences and encouraging others who read it to be vulnerable, to accept who they are, who they're becoming, who they want to be. And the words that you read here, the meanings are way beyond what's on the page. And so it goes beyond what you read. It's not just what you see on the surface, but it challenges you to go deeper into what you're feeling, what you are experiencing, what you observe as well, so that you can be able to express that in an authentic way for people to experience as well. So that's how that came about. This book, Words Beyond the Page, I'll be reading one of my poems, one of my favorite ones. The title of it is I Am. I am my here, what it is and what it used to be, and all that remains a possibility. Naturally curling form, resilient in all its beauty, long, straight, and bouncy, strutting that perfect form lathered in euphoric radiance, and might I add, or my short hair. I am my music, that mashel fetting, popcorn popping vibes are feeling, subconsciously meddling the idonic Dexter melody. John's legend resonates with my soul. I am a little extra, an extraordinarily outstanding form of who I'm proud. I am me. That was I Am from the book Words Beyond the Page. I will read another one, which is the last poem in this book. It's called Raw Soul. I don't want to start in the middle. No beginnings at the end. I fear mediocrity, so I procrastinate a lot until I have the time. For when I have made the time, to give my entire soul to making it a little more extra than ordinary. At the end of it all, when my soul is satisfied, I don't want to fail. I won when I started, even if it was in the middle, though it was my beginning at the end of it all. If I give it to you, it was my very best. For when I hold back, I am preparing for my very best. Thank you so much. So this book, you can find it on Amazon. I believe the ones in Jamaica are sold out, so you can find it whether in Kindle format or paperback, as I have it here. And I look forward to hearing your feedback on it as well. You can find me on all social media platforms as TSK Benjamin, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. I also do poetry in the Jamaican dialect, patois poetry. So you can also read some of my videos there. I don't have a lot of time tonight, so I won't share any of those with you tonight, but you can check out my Instagram page and you'll see videos of me performing a lot of those poems behind musical instruments in patois, in Jamaican dialect. So thank you so much for listening tonight, and I'm happy to share with you.
Woo! Oh, very good.
I will not do one piece every time I host Neil. Thank you guys so much for listening to those words. I hope I can share with you, more poetry coming up. So look out for that, look out on my social media platforms as well. Thank you guys so much for listening. And right behind me, I think it is very, very appropriate that we hear some music. And we are going to be listening to Ellis. So Ken Ellis, he's a roots and jazz artist. He started us off earlier tonight, with his classical soul, reggae, his unique blend of music. So we're looking forward to that. You hear the melody coming in already. And I think your music introduces you, so please take it away.
Hello guys. So I'm Ken Ellis. I'm a roots jazz soul singer from Manchester, Jamaica, in the hills. I play a lot of different styles. I started out in roots at Edna Manley in the band called 6 Points, that's where really I started playing a lot of shows and, a lot of gigs all about. And then recently I left in 2018 and really started my own solo career, which I'm really Ken Ellis now, singing, working on an EP and an album, and some live performances also. So I will just play one of the songs and you can see the rest on the live after this one. Let's go. So this one is called Roots Time. Roots time. Roots time, yes. And it's a roots time. Roots time now. We have roots in the style of coming out, yes. We have roots in the style of Brookings Law. We have roots in the style of 1 2 order and your bingy law. Bobo Shanti revival law. And it's a roots time. Roots time. Vibrant Jamaica now, yes. Roots time. Roots, roots, roots time, Lord. Going back to my roots, yes. Downtown Kingston, Jamaica, yes. Going back to my roots, Lord. Going back to my roots. Cause it's a roots time in vibrant Jamaica. Oh yes. Roots time. Everybody sing along. And it's a roots time. Yes. Roots time. Roots time. Roots. Blessings.
Woo-hoo.
Thanks. That was roots time. inspired by just, the culture of Jamaica and, the vibrance of the people, and the beat. Because we process a beat that's like, it's really African, and every time we play that beat, it's like, oh, here I am again, I'm home, So like the music that comes from the heart of Jamaica, the soul of Jamaica, which is really found like, in the streets, parts of downtown, deep rural parts of the island. I mean, the music is so rich, it has a lot of different sounds too, but it's always roots, that thing that make you want to move all the time, So I always appreciate that about my island, Jamaica, and the roots. So it's always a roots time, and I always have to just say this again to Kingston Creative, because what they're doing downtown is also a roots time move in terms of beautifying the space and really rootsing it up. Because if you really check it out, it has all the history of things that has happened downtown. Music, art, it really embodies a whole roots feel. So I mean, it's all good, yeah? It's all good. Big up, Kingston Creative. Greetings. My name is Ken Ellis. This is the Jacoustic Show. And this one is called One Shot. 1, 2, 3, and... I know one day we will grow, realize we have a choice to decide where we wanna go. And life, you got ups and downs, but you strive to be the best you can, 'cause you alone control the destiny. I know clouds are flowing the times. No, I'm not staying behind. No, no. Go forward without fear, and you will get the truth from the hands. One shot, one chance, one track, yes, one dance. One shot, yes, one chance, one track, no, one dance. And my love, will I be found in this crazy world? What's the cost, a dollar or pound? It's one shot, oh, my vision is blurred, yeah. Looking in, I'm looking out. Got to find a way over now, yeah. There's a mirror by the window,
Lovely, amazing, 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 amazing. Ken, boy, we can never get enough of those melodies, eh? We can never get enough. So I've been asked to actually do one more poem before I introduce the other wonderful creative with us tonight. So I will be doing a patois poem. Can I be so audacious as to ask Ken to run some melodies for us?
So can I play and you sing and you
well, I won't be singing tonight. I won't be singing tonight, but I'll be doing a patois poem, and it has a reggae kind of smooth rhythm dancehall kind of vibe to it. The name of it is called Flow. I'll start so you can get the vibe of it, and then you can always jump in, feel free.
Okay, go along.
This one is called Flow. You're ever flowing through my mind like a rainbow. The pretty colors of your smile never phase out. You're like the pot of gold I struck. Yeah, I'm rich though. I'm rich in love like the length of all your locks flow over your shoulder. That's where my legs go. Should go, just know I'm preempting you. When skies are gray, when it rains, I get soaked through. Just put your little finger, test your feel the river flow. It's like a water break. Now tell me it's a junior, no, but you're my baby, no. Come let me cradle you in my bosom and gently show you a love like you never ever ever know. And flow, you're my everything, you never know. You're my breakfast for lunch and my dinner too. I know dining, you're my takeout, yaman, banana, dashi, potato. Irish must be your back, you never take. Just hold it steady, so steady. 9 months later, it's a baby that's in a deep cradle. We're not gonna stay low. You know my ins and outs. I'm not a J-Lo. I'm just the essence of your presence. Every stay so. I am the magic of your ocean, making named love. Lovely you here on the stage show. Now the bedroom, I wanna feel the way low. Like don't a market when the vegetable wait out. Blend up the color, do the avocado straight out the skin, light it in my skin and flow down. Just the greens and beans and the steaks out. The steaks are highlight your mind and the herbs flow. I am your empress, be my king, synchronized. Thank you very much. That was Flow, and that's one of my
the side of yours. This is wonderful.
Thank you very much. You can actually find a medley to that poem. It is a medley between Flow and another one of my poems called Intoxicating Love. It's on Instagram, which I've done a medley. So I'm going to send the link right here. And you can feel free to check it out and let me know how you're feeling about it. Thank you so much for listening, guys. And thank you, Ken, for, jumping in at the last minute. You are wonderful. Thank you guys so much for listening. You are amazing. And I am so excited to talk about our storyteller, Christine Wright. I mean, she is a very vibrant and animated storyteller. When she tells her stories, you're there to hear the sounds, you can taste the food, you feel the music, you can smell the smells. She brings you there with her stories. So I am inviting her. Christine, please share some amazing stories with us. Over to you.
Thank you, my love, the rhythm there, my girl. Ow, ow, ow. Yeah, man. Hi, everyone. How are you? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. All right. So I should be introducing myself now, right?
Yep, and I do have a video ready for you too.
You want to run the video first, or you want me to do the introduction?
Oh, just letting you know, I got it. Whenever you're ready, introduce yourself to everybody.
Okay, hi. My name is Christine Wright. I've been rooting for you guys to kind of get worse. You know them way there? Okay, so I am a writer. I'm a storyteller. I have many voices. So if it's the dog, you hear the dog. If it's the pussy, you hear the pussy. If it's the tree, you hear the tree. And that is how I have many, many voices and personalities to create that ambience when I'm doing a story for children or any age, from your 0 to 199. I mean that. So I have been so honored. I'm so honored to be a part of this collaboration with Boston Poets 0830 and Kingston Creative. Thanks for the invite, Auntie Doris. And tonight, after you do the video, I'm going to be sharing a piece. I think this is a very remarkable piece. As you can see, this is it's a tributary magazine. And the question was asked from the brother of the deceased, what is man? This was a question he asked on Facebook, and I responded. But in writing this response, it took me a couple of hours. Normally, when you're doing a eulogy or a tribute or something like that, you have to be very, very sensitive towards what you're seeing and stuff like that. So it took me a couple of hours to write this piece. And when I finally finished it and I sent it off to my friend Arnold Kelly, this is what happened. It ended up in the magazine and I performed it at the funeral service. So you can do your story and I'll get to this after. Thank you.
Balance in Nature, written by Christine Neal Wright. Grandma C was not your old-time rap-head and grumpy granny. As a matter of fact, for an 89-year-old, she moved and acted like she was still in her 30s. Mary and David were spending a whole week with her in the cool hills of St. Andrew. Grandma C had lost her husband over 3 years ago and made life for herself and the dogs, the guinea chicks, the turkey, the common fowls, and everything else that she had at home. She sometimes got lonely and wanted to spend quality time with her grandchildren when her daughter had to travel out of town or overseas to make presentations in her art. The kids were not always happy to stay with Grandma at times when it comes to discipline and chores around the house. However, she was great in the kitchen and she made learning fun by getting them involved, and she told the greatest stories. One morning, they woke up in the middle of the night to a rumbling as though it was an earthquake. The dogs were barking whoop, 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 in a frenzy by the kitchen. Grandma was the first to get to the kitchen, armed with her machete and a dagger in her nightgown. It was obvious it was not an earthquake. Upon closer investigations, the sound was coming from the kitchen. Who on earth could be in her kitchen at 3 o'clock in the morning? She turned the lights on, and sure enough, there were about 6 rodents, big rats, feasting on her prized bunch of plantains with over 30 fingers on it. She was going to sell that, boys and girls. That was it. Today, she would be getting a new pet. The children had missed the fishes she had in a large fish tank in the living room. Somehow, the last cat they had made a meal of them when Grandma was away for a few weeks. The person who was keeping house in her absence was not very responsible. The animals protested and complained bitterly at her. What a piece of something. When they arrived at the pet store, they were totally shocked to discover that Grandma C was buying a replacement for the tank, a 3-footed yellow snake or Jamaican boa constrictor. David was the first to express his outrage. Grandma, I want to go home. I am not staying in your house with a snake. They are very dangerous. Please call Mommy. Tell her to come and pick us up now, please. Why you so fool, David? Mary fired back. The snake not doing you anything. He is more scared of humans because we don't understand their purpose and right to be here. If you would pay more attention to your books and not that stupid game you're always playing on your phone, you would know that snakes are harmless. Right, Grandma? Grandma C was pleased to hear that. She drove out and said that she was going to take them on a trip to the zoo to have a look at the iguanas. Her friend was a curator there. She was always welcome to visit as she was an adoptee of 2 iguanas at the animal sanctuary and also a part of an animal rescue group. Poor David, he was in for a big surprise. When they got there, he was pleasantly surprised by the information he received about snakes. Of course, their new pet was housed in a cool area until they had their talk at the zoo. They met the monkeys, the joeys, and the kangaroos, owls, mandarins, crocodiles, parrots, turtles, and so much more. David listened closely to the curator who told them many stories of these amazing animals who were here long before humans came. He said that without these animals, to the tiniest organism, all have their part in the balance of the ecosystem. He reminded them that all life forms should be respected. We should give way to these animals by respecting their space. However, if they are in your space, you should call the zoo immediately and they will incorporate NEPA, which is the National Environmental and Planning Agency, to retrieve the animal and take it to safety. What do snakes eat, Uncle Joey? Asked David, full of curiosity. Well, David, they love lizards and rats that can cause disease and make you sick, especially where you live in the rural areas or in the mountains. So I am sure Grandma Camille has her reason to have a pet, plus to have a snake as a pet, plus helping to keep you guys safe and her environment safe. But always remember to respect them and they will respect you, okay? But before we do that, let me show you both how to handle the snake and what else they like to eat. You should have seen their faces as they held the snake in their hands and around their necks. Grandma C had to tell David that it was time to leave, and he begged her to get an iguana for a pet as well. Good grief. Everyone laughed. The children went home to tell their mother that they had a great week and they wanted to become ambassadors for the environment and begged her to let them stay for another week with Grandma. They wanted to help her out in the garden, planting peas, pumpkins, okras, and all sorts of other things. And they would be baking, planting coconut cake together that weekend. I am sure they have a good start learning how to protect their environment and will definitely share their knowledge of the awesome balance in nature. Now, everyone, we have been given the gift of knowledge to create many wonderful things. We have the power to protect our world and do our best to preserve what is left of it. Thank you, Kingston Creative, for creating this opportunity for creatives like me to share. Thank you.
I can't believe I wrote that. I can't believe I wrote that. Thank you. Wow. I can go ahead with my pointer, right?
Yep, all stage is all yours.
Okay, what is man? He races to the death to seek life in the womb, impatient to become what he will become, and very soon. Watching his mother's eyes, absorbing her warmth, loving her nurture, hearing his father's voice, one day he too will have his own adventures. Established and highly accomplished, and a mighty force to be reckoned with, running with the eternal flame of his past generation. His voice is strong, eyes twinkle with vision, adventure, joy, much love and laughter on this marathon of faith and hopeful ever after. And though he raced to the death to obtain life, a successful, valiant battle to be, life took an unexpected U-turn, embracing death, mankind's worst and fearful enemy. What is man? He is an incredibly powerful creation whose spirit seems to live on in each posterity, whose image reflects somewhat the origin of life, whose wisdom flows through each of us by choice, whose love is indomitable, whose heart is deeper than the abyss in the ocean, whose life will never, ever be forgotten. What is man? That man is you. That man is me. Thank you.
Thank you. Powerful, powerful. Did I not tell you guys that you would hear all the characters? Did I not tell you you would feel all the feelings, hear all the sounds, see all the things you need to see? Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Christine. And please tell us where we can find or listen to you, some of your work as well, because I mean, this is amazing. We need to hear this more often.
You can find me on my YouTube page, Christine Angel Neal, and my Instagram at # Christine Neal Wright. I'll post it in the group. I think that's it. I'm also on Facebook, Christine Wright, but you'll see some children and myself and an adult with the Kingston Creative artwork at the top. You can't miss me, all right? So I'll post it in a little bit. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Christine. And if you are just joining us, wow, this has been such an amazing night. Vibrant Jamaica, the story of downtown Kingston. This is a partnership with 830 Club, the Boston Poets Theatre, and Kingston Creative. We have been listening to some amazing creatives throughout the night. If you are on YouTube, you'll be able to see the live afterwards. You can watch the video, enjoy it, soak it in, and connect with these creatives. Of course, their handles would have been dropped in this Zoom channel, but you can also check them out on their different Instagram or other platforms and websites. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, we are not done just yet. To close us out, we will be listening to some more melodies from the soothing Ken Ellis. So over to you, Mr. Music Man.
Yeah, so I'll be playing this last one called The Sun Will Shine. Again, after the rain falls, you know. It's one of those songs that it really was inspired by, like, you know, things that happen, and no matter how cloudy the way it may seems, there's also the bright sunshine that comes after the rain, you know. So this is what that song is about. dancing on and on. How do you feel? Look at the skies with your hopes and dreams. So high they fly high. We don't need to worry now. Take your time, don't you hurry now, Lord. The sun will shine again after the rainfall. The sun will shine again after the rain falls, yes. Look in your life, do you see what you want to see when you stare? Do you realize if you have some faith, you can go anywhere? We all gonna see the day. Ooh, ooh, yes, the brighter day now. Saying the sun will shine again after the rainfall. The sun will shine again after the rain falls, yes. Shine again after the rain. Sun will shine again after the rain. The sun will shine again after the rain falls. After the rain falls, the sun will shine. Thank you, guys. It was a great night, man.
Thank you.
Woo! Thanks, man.
Jazz and blues. the sister. I say, listen to your mother, be like your father, 'cause in life, nothing's perfect, no, and you must learn.
You must learn
all your lessons. Ooh, yeah, 'cause I almost gave up. But it's all it's all it's all it's all to the bridge. No matter what happened last year, don't give up. Never give up. Never give in. Rastafari said it. I live. Almost gave up. Almost gave up now. Yeah, I almost threw the towel in. And I almost gave up. But I said, every little thing is gonna be alright. 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 But it's all good. Yeah, it's all good. It's all it's all it's all yeah. It's all good. Bless up, brother. Is it me? Oh.
It is indeed all good. It has been such a phenomenal evening. Wow, wow. I mean, we are all amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your work with us. Thank you for joining us tonight for Vibrant Jamaica, the story of downtown Kingston, a partnership with 830 Club, the Boston Poets Theatre, and Kingston Creative. It has been such an amazing night. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to all of you wonderful creatives for sharing your amazing self with us. It has been such an amazing evening. And we thank you again for joining us tonight. Over to you, Richard Cambridge. Thank you for having us on behalf of Kingston Creative and all the wonderful creators here as well. Thank you.
Oh, you're all just so amazing. It's the one language we all speak from all countries is art and music and poetry. And I'm just really touched for all of your efforts and contributions and for reaching out way beyond your borders. Your little island swims across all the continents and touches us all. I was thinking what medicine, what healing that you all are giving, and please continue to do so. I know you will. So I'd like to conclude this night and say goodnight to all you folks on Facebook and YouTube. And we'll be seeing you next month. Doris, a special thanks to you. Maybe you're going to get your coffee or you're going to go to bed. I'm not sure what, but take care, all of you, so much. I'll see you soon all.